What's going on, YouTube? I hope you're all having a wonderful start to your weekend. I have a very special video for you all today from the house of Boadicea the Victorious. This is Night of Love. This is one of the fragrances when I first got into the house of Boadicea the Victorious. Back then they had like 100 and something fragrances on their webpage. I was watching hockey one night, drinking some bourbon on the porch, nice cool weather out. During the intermissions, I went through the entire webpage and wrote down notes or fragrances that notes appealed to me the most. And this was one of those, and I haven't been able to find it for a while. They do have it in stock on their website, and I did not buy it on their website. I bought it from another seller. I was able to get it for a little bit less money because I think it's 585 British pounds. Conversion rate plus tax, you're looking at, probably the mid 700s for this fragrance because I believe it's 585 British pounds on their webpage. I was able to get it for a significantly cheaper rate than that, which means it was still very expensive. But this is definitely one of the fragrances that I had written down when I visited their webpage. The notes always interested me. So what do we got here? We got cardamom, juniper, pink pepper. Very bright citrus, well, slightly citrus with the juniper, not overly fruity. Anyone who knows juniper, it's not an overly sweet note in most fragrances, although it does add a little bit of that in there. But it's really the cardamom, the pink pepper, and the juniper that gives it just wonderful, lively, vibrant freshness to the beginning of the fragrance. I'm actually going to spray a little bit on right now. And really, it's the cashmere, the violet, and I believe it's magnolia is the other floral in the mid notes that kind of ground that down a little bit. But my favorite part of this fragrance, and what really kind of encouraged me to buy it the most when I saw the notes on Boadicea's webpage, was really the base notes. You've got moss, leather, tobacco, amber, and vanilla, I believe. Now, I will say right off the bat, as a lover of tobacco fragrances, the note is not overly heavy in this fragrance. I would not say this is anything like a tobacco sapphire or something of that nature, even though it has tobacco in it. I feel like that tobacco is more to give the base notes a little bit of depth, complexity, and structure. You can still smell it slightly, and it's more on the dry down with this fragrance. Again, it's a newer fragrance for me, so I don't have a ton of experience with it, but that's how it plays on my skin. It seems to be, the tobacco is in there. You can really smell it if you dig for it, but it's not something that the fragrance is centered around. So if you're wanting a tobacco fragrance, go with Tobacco Sapphire, because that is a true tobacco fragrance. This is more bright, lively. You could definitely wear this during spring or summer. Man. But with those notes, again, with the tobacco, the leather, amber, vanilla, and the mosses, certainly something you could wear during cooler weather. Pure perfume concentration, 30 to 40% oil concentration, I believe, is pretty much what all the Boadicea Victorious fragrances are done at. And you're just going to get a lot of longevity and development from this. Very, very interesting combination of notes as well. When you have that very vibrant, spicy, fresh, slightly fruity opening with the juniper, cardamom, and pink pepper, that lasts, maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours because of the oil concentration, which is actually really nice. This is a fresh spray that I just sprayed on. I did spray this on this morning. So the dry down, much different. As the dry down goes, you lose that kind of spice and that note jumping off your skin of the pink pepper and the cardamom. I feel like the juniper stays a little longer than those other two notes, and then it goes into the cashmere and the violet and the other floral. I believe it's magnolia, if I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong on that, but I know it has violet and cashmere in there. And then, of course, the base notes of the fragrance, pretty much the reason I bought it. Those are what you're going to be smelling the longest, even though you don't smell them all off the top. The leather, the tobacco, it's very well blended. The leather, it can be a very overpowering and overbearing note in a lot of fragrances. And I find that in Night of Love, it's not. It kind of lends way to the moss, to the tobacco, the vanilla, and the amber. You can smell a little bit of leather, but it's nothing that's animalic. It's nothing that is, it doesn't smell like a new car. I do like some of those leathers where you have that very luxurious kind of new car, high-end, suitcase, briefcase, whatever, purse if you're a woman. You know, walk into like a Louis Vuitton store or something, which of course their quality is subjective, I suppose, just with any designer, but you kind of get the vibe that I'm giving you. It's not really that type of leather, you know, it's just very well blended in. You can smell that it is in there, but it's not like a lot of other leather fragrances where you're just overwhelmed with it. Even if it's supposed to be a base note in some fragrances, a lot of them with leather in it, you can smell it right off the bat. And again, it does seem to be a dominant note, but obviously the ingredients are extremely high quality in here. Blending, always for me, very, very well done by Boadicea. There's a lot of fragrances that they have where you look at certain notes and you wonder, you know, how dominant will they be? You know, I was very concerned about that with Al Kut because I'm not a huge fan of that maltol, like burnt caramel note, and I saw it had it in there, and I just trusted Boadicea. I bought it, and it is a really, really nice fragrance. You can get a little hint of that, but it's not overbearing like in a lot of other fragrances where they just overdose that one ingredient. So very versatile fragrance, Night of Love. Again, you could probably wear it during cooler weather, although I plan on, you know, mainly saving this for spring and summer because that's the sort of vibe it gives me with those opening top notes and the middle notes. And again, you know, the tobacco and the leather is not overly heavy to where it would feel out of place, you know, wearing it in the summer or springtime. But of course, with the oil concentration and all the ingredients in there, it's also not really going to be that out of place during the cooler weather like fall or winter time. So very versatile fragrance. I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of this. I already got some compliments on it as well. I've only worn it one time, and it's one of those fragrances I would definitely say for the house of Boadicea. They do a lot of heavy Middle Eastern fragrances, like a lot of rose and oud. If you look at their portfolio, they have a ton of fragrances with a lot of rose, oud, and musk. I would say for Boadicea's lineup, this is certainly one of the more approachable fragrances. Of course, then maybe some of the obviouses like Aqua Sapphire, that's like a blue fragrance. Very, very approachable as well. Violet Sapphire, another one, it's like a fruity, floral oud type of fragrance, fruity oud. That's very approachable. So not that they don't have approachable fragrances from Boadicea, the Victorious, but they do have quite a few very, very heavy Middle Eastern fragrances with that saffron, rose, oud, musk combo. And I would definitely say Night of Love. It's a little bit in between. You know, you can see that there is a Middle Eastern influence. You can see the quality there with the blending and everything. But for me, this is definitely one of the more approachable fragrances in general from the house and for a lot of niche brands as well. When you look at the notes in here, just how well blended they are, this is something that is going to appease people that are connoisseurs of high-end fragrances and niche fragrances and Boadicea itself. And I think it would also appeal to somebody who's just getting into that niche fragrance type of market. So not too off-putting, unique, but not overly unique to where it's going to maybe put someone who's new to that sort of thing off. Just a wonderful fragrance. So if that interests you, you guys see the notes in here. Maybe it's worth a decant or a sample for you. But man, for overall, I would say Night of Love from Boadicea is a safe blind buy. Even though it is an expensive fragrance, we got Christmas coming up, so maybe you treat yourself. I know Faith is another really popular one. One of my subscribers, Mr. Barrow, he really enjoys that one. That's on my list, but it's getting harder to find, so hopefully they'll bring that back like they did Night of Love, because this was gone for a little bit, and now it's back on Boadicea's webpage, so hopefully we'll get that same type of treatment with Faith and some of the other ones that they kind of taken away. Hopefully we'll see them back in stock. That's one thing that I've noticed, even though I haven't been into the house of Boadicea for that long. It's been about 2 years now, but they do seem to have some fragrances that just kind of disappear out of nowhere. You know, they seem available. You go back to like a month or two later, it's off the webpage. Very, very difficult to find on secondary market after that. So we'll see what this year holds coming up at the end of 2024 and then through the rest of 2025, see what they bring back. But again, guys, if those notes interest you, the blending and the quality as always with Boadicea, and of course the presentation, just out of this world. But yeah, Night of Love, man, this fragrance is gonna get a lot of use for me. I'm gonna be wearing it a little bit this winter time, mainly because it's newer. And then I'm going to be saving it for a little bit warmer weather because I feel like it will go a little bit better in those types of conditions just with the note breakdown. Just absolutely wonderful stuff from the house of Boadicea. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Got to get back to doing some stuff. You know, Christmas time, holidays, got Christmas shopping to do. So very happy I could do this video and review for you. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all soon, all right? Bye.